Baltimore 31, Cleveland 15. The Browns kept it close. This was like, like you were watching New England through all those years. And even when teams kind of like played them well and they're doing some good things, before you know it, they just like rattle off a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
That was Baltimore. And that's like the Browns were close. They're keeping it close. And before you know it, Lamar just goes like seam route, touchdown, seam route, touchdown. I mean, they're just really good. Tony Romo was highlighting Lamar's ability to throw the ball away from coverage. And I think he did a good job of highlighting it. Lamar's second touchdown right before halftime, he breaks free from a sack, has Mark Andrews not open at all, and just throws it up and away from the leverage of the defender. And it was fantastic.
Yeah, he was spectacular. Honestly, as impressive as this was for Baltimore, this felt a lot more like the Browns just being the Browns. So where I thought you were going to go with that New England point is, you watch this game and you just get the feeling that New England was going to make it, and eventually win. With the Browns, you watch, like even when it's going well, you just get this feeling that at some point they're going to, try and tie their shoes and break their hip.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Right. And that's basically what happens every single week. Like they were in really good position and then made an absolute balls of the final 90 seconds of the first half. Baltimore takes the lead and never looks back. Like even when things are going well in Cleveland, it's just an absolute disaster waiting to happen, and it's coming. You then get video of Beckham going to the sideline, launching his helmet at the table or launching his helmet at the bench, screaming at Freddie Kitchens. Seemed to be screaming, "It's because of him." Now, there's only that many hymns out on the field that would potentially impact Odell Beckham's performance.
I got to say something about all that. You know what grinds my gears?
No.
Is this a segment again? Do you know what grinds my gears?
No.
Is when we see players talking on the sideline and then people just add commentary to what they're saying. This happened 2 weeks ago. Sam Darnold and Adam Gase, after a fourth down, they were talking about something. It was a little animated. And then somebody added context to it. Look how upset Sam Darnold is at Adam Gase. It's like, what do you mean? Like you have literally zero idea about what they're talking about. And after they claimed they were talking about what the receiver was doing, not like you screwed it up. So don't do it. Stop projecting what they said on the sideline. Guys upset. We have zero idea why anybody's upset, what they're talking about, what they're upset about, and whose fault it is.
True.
We don't even know if they're upset at each other when they're yelling at each other. It could just be general frustration. It's an emotional game, Sam. I was a flag football champion in 2004. I know the emotion.
All I'm saying is that Odell was upset. He pointed out onto the field and said it's because of him.
Maybe he's saying Marcus Peters is too good. I can't.
Entirely possible.
Jimmy Smith plays sticky coverage.
Also possible.
I can't separate from these guys. Earl Thomas is patrolling the middle of the field and he might take my head off, I'm afraid.
Many, many different things could have been the thing.
I could have captioned that. I said let's try that. That'll be our little off-season game here.
Yeah. So
we'll just caption things and see if people catch on.
What might be the most impressive thing about this Browns team is how completely and utterly incapable they are of manufacturing cheap, free yardage the way everybody else is, right? We've talked before about how you could create like a comedy low-light reel of their tap passes.
Yeah.
Have you seen this play where they attempted some kind of trick throwback thing and got buried for like a 7-yard loss?
Yeah.
What the hell? How come they can't do this stuff?
It does sometimes look like they don't practice much.
I honestly think I need to look at this because I've said this a couple of times now and I haven't bothered checking it yet. Yeah. Look at this.
So the best part about this is they pulled out 1988 near formation.
Yeah.
Like the offset.
But I honestly want to check out if their trick stuff is telegraphed by the formations they line up in, because it honestly looks like teams know they're coming to the point where they're just playing.
I wish I could draw. They literally lined up in the formation that is a dinosaur.
Right.
Like it's what the Niners used to run with Montana.
But I don't think that alone would say that, right? My point is
something's up when you're lined up like that.
Sure, but they run so many of these things that are just completely dead before the play even starts. I really want to know if they telegraph those with the formation or whatever they're doing, because it's staggering how inept at those things they are. Again, Baker Mayfield was bad. Like, he's just playing terribly. Like, ugly.
Yeah.
Not good. I don't understand a lot of things, actually, about this Cleveland offense. I don't understand. So the Odell Beckham thing, you can at least put it down to the fact that the guy's been battling a sports hernia, right? I don't know why that would make you start dropping the ball randomly, but let's say we can explain away everything about Odell Beckham's performance by the fact that the guy hasn't had surgery that he probably should have had a few months ago. And let's put that down and give him a pass, right? Why has Baker's accuracy disappeared?
So that's the thing. Like, he's having Josh Allen type games.
Yeah.
Because the high end throws were there. He threw the fade to Odell Beckham, which was fantastic.
Except most of the season they haven't been.
No, I know. But like in this game, 2-3 big time throws that were really good. Those were it for him. Threw a bad interception late. They were down 2 scores. He's trying to force it up there. Some questionable decisions and misses in there. There is just it's the same description I've used for Carson Wentz at times this year, where it's like you can see the big chunk plays. Baker plays a lot like Wentz, where it's like cannon for an arm. He can throw the 20-yard out, these beautiful throws. Where's the easy stuff? Where's the efficient stuff? And part of that's scheme, and part of that's him not reading it out, leaving clean pockets and all that. He took a sack on 4th down, which was negated. Took a sack on 4th down.
Yeah.
Which was horrendous. I mean, they got away with it after a face mask penalty. But he also
made another disaster.
This was like 7 seconds into the play, scrambled out, like, just chuck it up.
Right.
It's 4th,
also another disastrous one of those where he's like scrambling out to right, nothing's happening. So the difference between him and Wentz, though, is that Baker was deadly accurate. Right?
True.
And so one of the narratives in our whole sort of projecting college to the NFL, it's like you can't really teach accuracy, right? If these guys are so bad in accuracy terms, it's not a good thing. That's unlikely to fix itself for the next level. What I don't know that we ever even considered was, what if a guy that's deadly accurate heads in the opposite direction at a rate of knots? Like, you can't teach accuracy, but can you stop a guy losing it? Because that's what's happening to Baker. So he's always had the propensity for a, clanging decision every now and again, a bad play, an ugly turnover-worthy thing. He's also always had a penchant for holding on the ball too long, making some bad things happen that way. But I don't understand why a guy's accuracy would completely abandon him. Like, he's not under such a weight of pressure that it would explain a catastrophic collapse in accuracy. And even if, you isolate it to no pressure plays and all that kind of stuff, he has simply been significantly less accurate with the football. What the hell is with that?
So I think, even though accuracy is, there's a couple ways to look at accuracy, right? Because Lamar this year, throw for throw, he still missed a higher percentage of throws than you'd like to see. But his pinpoint accuracy has been spectacular. Like, he's, again, what Romo was saying, throwing the ball away from coverage and away from the leverage of defenders. And Lamar's doing it at such like a confident level. Like, you see Lamar like with his multiple arm angles, and he just looks extremely confident. Whereas a guy that's struggling with his accuracy might look the same way, and you'd call it careless. Lamar feels like he knows where it's going every single time. So my point is, I think even though accuracy is like, did you throw it accurately or did you not? I think there are other things that go into it, whether it's footwork and confidence and all these other things. And Baker is at the other end of that spectrum compared to Lamar this season. Footwork and confidence and knowing where he's going with it, whatever it is. You hear that too? I don't know what's going on there. So I wonder how much it is different coaches, voices in the room, whatever it is that just aren't meshing with Baker this year as well. So
yeah, I mean, look, we've said this before. Everything in Cleveland is wrong at the moment. The offense, the play calling, the accuracy of the quarterback, the plays and the receiver. The whole thing is a train wreck. Like, the only thing that's functioning in that offense is Nick Chubb. But the one thing that I don't really understand at all is how a quarterback goes from being deadly accurate to just just bad. His accuracy has been extremely poor, and that would have been one of his biggest calling cards heading into the season. That confuses me to a huge degree. But Baker is another one of these quarterbacks for whom it is important to point out this sample size thing, right? So let's say you flip Baker's career. You say last year was this year is last year. the narrative looks completely different, right? But ultimately, we're left with slightly less than 2 full seasons worth of data. And heading into the 3rd season, do we know anything?
This goes back to your point about like a college player season, right? When he has a great junior season and a not so good senior
I don't know
season.
what you do with that when it ends up pointed in the wrong direction because it breaks all the narratives in your head. But ultimately, the play, like if you're just looking at what this guy has on tape, it's the same. But the order in which you put them dictates the narrative.
Yeah, I think that
that was the Dak question, right? It was like great first year,
right,
went backwards 2 and 3, and then bounces up this year. But heading into 3, what do you do with that?
Yeah, I mean, Dak wasn't great yesterday, but his best season was his rookie year, and he went down, and this year he bounced back up. Right? I mean, that's the ebbs and flows of quarterbacks. I keep saying that whole 2016 class, Dak has 2 years where he's been the highest graded quarterback out of him, Goff, and Wentz. Wentz has 1 year, Goff has 1 year. There are ebbs and flows to this thing. It's not...
We're just starting to reach a point where I don't know if you ever know what the hell any quarterback is going to do ever.
Why are we even podcasting?
We're 5 years into Jameis Winston's career, and I don't know what the hell he is.
No, we know exactly what he is.
Cesium?
Yeah, so he's consistent.
Right, but like you're heading into 2020, what's he going to do?
He's going to be the same guy.
I've been telling you that for years, and you're like, no, next year's the year.
No, but you didn't read my article. He can be the same guy, but the output can look different.
So you're not actually ever expecting him to clean up?
I've changed my tune a little bit.
Oh.
Right? So based off the data, Jameis, he might not have the year where he cuts down on the negatives or whatever, but he could have the year where 35 turnover-worthy plays are all dropped.
Huh.
You know, you have like 29 dropped interceptions. Mike Evans makes every contested catch. So if the other stuff around him goes perfectly right, the output looks great.
So you've taken a significant step in the direction of me being right.
You want to get rid of me and get back to more great PFF YouTube content? All you have to do is push that button right there and subscribe. Thanks for watching.